All right, I'm trying something different today. Hopefully this is relatable, interesting, and just kind of different. I'm gonna document over the next few days as I'm back in North Carolina. And I've got a unique set of conditions. Came back to stuff that's been kind of flooded out already to begin with, but today is gonna be about 60 degrees. You see that haze, a little bit of fog, nice warm day. Tomorrow's gonna be greeted with a low of 20, a couple days in the teens, and then some rain. So as I'm fiddling with this is about as tricky of a fishing situation I think I've been put in a while, right? And I know it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of days I'm gonna scout, skunk, not sure what to do. I think it'd be interesting to show some longer form reality. And you know, if you really hate this already, and you like highlight reels of instant gratification, you can thank Justin Kayak Catfish, because I'm seeing him do that, and it seems like some people are liking reality. And it makes sense, man. Understanding the reason lots of people hang it up for the winter, all these things. And this winter's different. It's different than it has been. So I'm gonna enjoy trying to piece it together. So I'm starting in kind of a salty, brackish environment. And honestly, this time of year it's foolish to be picky about what's gonna bite. So I don't know, I'll probably just cut out chunks of, you know, traveling up and down long distances with the kayak, and not too much other editing, and hopefully no heavy breathing. I'm gonna wear the camera on my chest so you don't have to hear me going if I decided to delight myself in some shrimp and grits the other night, etc. Okay, so creeks, a lot of rain. Number one challenge when it comes to this stuff. So the biggest thing that, in my opinion, why fishing can fall off a cliff, two things. A lot of rain, right? We get a lot of rain here in the Carolinas, especially in the winter. Last 2 years weren't so bad, but it looks like this year. But the other thing that happens too is there's dredging and there's beach nourishment, and I've seen a lot of it just scouting around the last few days. I stay away 10 miles from that stuff, a minimum. So rain sucks. One thing that's far worse than rain, in my opinion, you see those dredges, dredging up the channels, dredging up the inlets, and on top of the dredges, beach nourishment. So you got a lot of things working against you in the winter, and of course cold water. This was salt water a month ago, it's pure fresh water now, so let's see if anything held on. And I gotta watch out for lots of new debris coming around, so probably gotta take it to some slower speeds for much of today and see if we can catch anything, man. And if I'm skunking today, well, we'll try to keep it down to about 8 to 10 minutes of total skunking, but some deep bends where the current's not too strong here. I think that's what we're gonna start with. Okay, I'm gonna start with that Kevin Van Dam caffeine shad. That worked pretty well just before I left. One long drift through a stretch. Pay attention to electronics. Pay attention to nibbles. Pay attention to life on the bank. None of these things show much. Probably won't make much sense to stick around. Okay, not a bite on that drift. Let's go to the next stretch we want to fish. We gotta watch out for tree stumps though, so maybe we should travel at 4 miles an hour instead of all right, let's catch up on the next bend. Okay, so up there I'm seeing something up on the surface there, bait. Something's up there, so let's take a look at that. This is how far away I slow down, just an FYI. That's not even within casting distance yet, but I'm already slow. I could have just slowed down for a gar, I get it, but I'd be safe than sorry. Looks like it was nothing. No signs of life. Let me check my time too. I want to make sure I manage my time properly. 9 o'clock. I'll tell you right now, looking at that, we ain't getting that one back either. I'm up on the next bend here. This looks pretty good too. 3 bends, 0 bites. Let's keep moving. See definitely some trees in the way here. Oh, I had a fish. Kooky McCook had a bite. No way. No hope is not lost. That is like in the motivation department. Winter striped bass. Now, that's not a very large one, but all things considered, take it. You can get a couple of these guys going. Be cool. Well, there's just 1 or 2 fish there. This guy's kind of torn up. Let's not cut corners today, because I feel like today's going to be a tough one. I think I'm marking some fish here. I think I have to slow it down a lot. Gonna get hung up. There's a lot of fish here. Guessing they're going to mostly be smaller stripers. Big school of them right under me right now. Unfortunately, this guy's going to be out of commission right now. A hoodwink. Oh no! Broke him off. Where are these fish? They're on a bank somewhere? Alright, I've got one encouraging sign. I am starting to mark a few fish scattered in these zones here. Not many, but enough to not make me want to call it an early day. I don't think I'm going to have a wonderful day trying to do what I'm doing, but maybe I could get a couple bites out here. I think I have to slow it down. Okay, tide's coming up really quick, but overall, there is not much to keep you around. Got rain coming real soon, so what I gotta do is I gotta just hit one last hole really quick and wrap this one up. So right now I'm trolling my way with this cruise control feature out of this zone. Doesn't seem like I'm finding much. 3 miles an hour. I'll pick it up in a minute here. It looks like there's some scattered gar and other fish possibly, but for the most part, it doesn't look like I'm going to find much I'm looking for. All right, man. I think it's time to go. All right, it's about hour number 2, 3. I mean, I haven't found any more fish. There was one big school of fish that I missed my bite on, and those fish moved off immediately. Those stripers weren't even holding. They were just bumped into them with a little bit of happenstance, moved right off. I'm just trying to work in this whole zone. I haven't seen a sign of life again. All right, well, that's that. Let's head in. I'm gonna troll home, just one of my paddle tails. So what's interesting about today, this tide came up with no current, and like, I'm not feeling an incoming tide pushing me. And it came up really fast after ripping on the outgoing when I started. So there's no like stable, nothing's been stable for very long here. Kind of had those bites right at that switch of the tide, but I suspect those fish were on the move. It looked like a school of about 8 to 10 striped bass. Second one broke me off. There was plenty of stuff like that to get me on. How big, who knows? Could have been a red drum too. So this is what it's like. It's a chaotic period, right? Floods, dirty water. So this is not a very stable environment. So it's not like there isn't fish to catch. It's just, it's going to be really hard. So what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to go speed 5. So tomorrow I am 100% staying home. The high is only going to be about 45, 46 degrees. And not sure if I went over a fish or two over there. Either way, I don't think this environment's stable enough right now to overcome the challenges I'm going to be facing. There's some spots, sure, I could probably catch fish a little more consistently and work through it and grind through it all. But I think what I'm doing here is going to have a hard time getting it done either way. Man, I sure wish I had more to offer here. I mean, besides that beautiful scenery behind me. This tree fell down recently. It's a new one. I think it did, at least. Didn't make a drop on this cut. I've caught fish here before in the past too. Might not be very consistent, but I have. Seems like the drift is pretty decent. That water's getting really dirty now. It's the reality, man. So this is what winter fishing is like for many people. And I'm not chasing reports, and I'm sure there's a couple. If I jumped on Facebook, I can probably pick apart where to fish and do all that stuff. Just want to, I prefer to do it, you know, I'll pick my B's and C's and D spots. I think I'm gonna rule out anything tidal, like at least with a good amount of tide, for a little bit. Yesterday I saw the dredges and we didn't make a video for it, and I went out and caught nothing. Today, a ripping outgoing tide swapped with a lightning fast rising water that looks like pretty much someone flushed the toilet on me. And yeah, and I might have just marked my first fish. Oh my gosh, should I go back and ask her? Let's drift over him. Let's see what happens. Things that happen in my brain sometimes. Just real quick, and then we're out of here. Could have just been a channel catfish. Could have been a brush pile. Who knows? That makes sense. That's like, that should be a small red drum or a striper sitting there. Got that little chute. But yeah, this water, it's going to be a tough bargain to get that fish to bite. Doesn't matter how confident I am in my jigging. All right, well, that's how this one's going for me. How often do trips like that happen? Definitely in the winter I'll get a few of them. Gambling on somewhere where maybe I'm hoping it's not flooded out too bad. Usually it is. So where I live in the southeastern part of North Carolina, there's a lot more current here. Certain areas it'll rip really fast. Where I live, you know, 1.5 is pretty standard. I think we got to go freshwater in for a few days. I love doing that though. Wintertime, freshwater's a lot of fun. It's usually pretty decent. 50 degrees, you know, fish should bite in 50. And on top of that, yeah, most of those freshwater fish taste pretty good. The panfish, white perch, crappie, yellow perch, all that stuff tastes pretty good. We do have some yellow perch where I live. I don't really chase them too often, but they're around where I live too. So let's see. Is attempt number 2 going to be really good? As I'm going to just literally ditch the tidal stuff. Tomorrow we're getting that massive cold front. Day after looks okay. I'm not messing with this tidal stuff, no way. So let's see. It's about 26 degrees this morning. We get some ice. Seems silly. Take it from there. A little bit of bait up ahead of me. Let's see what these water temperatures settle at. I'm seeing 47. It's actually a little better than I thought it might be. What do you fish with out here? I'm gonna fish with these too. One of my combos. And that Berkeley power bait's really good lure. Sometimes nothing beats this stuff, especially in the colder months. For me, I've had some of my best days with this Berkeley power bait. Combo we're gonna start with. Gulp minnow and a power bait. Now we gotta look for fish. This is really a sonar game, so if this ain't your thing, I'm sorry. Kind of get it, don't worry, but marked something there. No interest. Okay. Was a fish down there though. Ooh. Ooh, had to move just an inch. Got like 6-pound test on there. So whatever we do, I think we're gonna have to be very careful to not unhook this fish or break them off. It's a striped bass, isn't it? That's a striper. Can't do much here, guys. This is such light line. I'm gonna lose him. We just know it. There's so much pressure on me right now. I'm gonna lose this fish. Striper, nice one. Wow, big striper. Woohoo! Look at that striped bass. What a first bite, man. Man, is that a hybrid? By the way, that is a fat, girthy fish. Whoa. Can you see that one? I hope you can. And my fish finder just powered off on me there. Well, we'll fiddle with that in a minute. Man, what a striper. This almost looks like a hybrid striped bass to me. Can't keep striped bass where I'm fishing, but that's a great fish. Stocky. Like, it doesn't have a full tail. But either way, let's be quick here. Make sure she swims off just fine. Yeah. What a striper, man. My rig got hung up on me there just now. I popped it off. And my fish finder also powered off. I think I have a loose wire, so I'm going to jump on the shoreline right now. I didn't want to take 100 glory shots with it. Because can't keep those fish, so you want to just take good care of them. Right, the water's cold and they survive well, but it's just one of those things. Like, I've caught a lot of striped bass over the years, and that was an exciting one to me because I'm just dropping little panfish jigs down and sweating, and I literally broke the rig just now on my life jacket, so I was super pumped to see that fish come up, man. Wow, it was a great little surprise there, man. That fish was probably like 28, 29 inches, but it was so fat from all the shad it probably gets to eat. Awesome. All right, let's see what else we can do. Gotta tie a new one of these. I'm going with 10-pound test now. It's gonna be some active stripers. Should I do a loop knot or a uni knot? Let me do a uni knot. It's a 3/8 ounce jig head. These are made by VMC. This is not a great hook on there, but let's retie this whole thing to begin with because we're gonna have to. Okay, however I tied that didn't work out. I have a hard time tying this drop shot rig when my hands are cold. Okay, and that's the rig right there. Little Daiwa Fuego 2500. 3/8 ounce VMC jig head. That hook is, yeah, it's plenty to be worried about. And that's the 3-inch Berkeley power bait. The St. Croix Triumph Panfish series, and I've got a number 8 hook here. It's kind of like a crappie hook bonus. I was just worried that whole time, and I just took off the 6-pound leader, went to 10. And yeah, let's get back on that. That water is cold. I feel it on my feet right now, but I am so pumped. I didn't even film my start on the water. I started fishing and boom, I caught a good fish pretty much instantly from the start of this fishing trip. So let's get right into it, see what else we can catch today. This has been it's been a good start so far. So okay, I got a few fish under me right here. Could be crappies, largemouth bass, don't know, but we're gonna get our gulp minnow on. So I cannot keep striped bass in this part of North Carolina, even though they seem to be doing better lately. Not everywhere, but some places seem to be doing better with them. So there is encouragement. I'm just gonna backpedal here just to drop. So I'm just literally dunking this rig down to the bottom. One crank up and pop pop. I don't know. Bunch of fish here, I think. Got a bunch of fish under us here. Don't want to eat. Didn't want to eat that. Try this little blade bait. I think these could be white perch too, though. Yeah, they're around. Bites have been sporadic as of now, but you never know. All right, I'm not seeing much anymore. Sure could be a lot of things I'm marking, so let's come back here and keep going down this way. Got a little bit of that wind too, so got no idea what this might be here. Could be white perch. There we go. Who's the catch? It's a white perch. So these are not invasive here in the Carolinas. Native fish. Prefer to keep them a little bit larger than that. I guess we're on a school of them right now, so let's work it. See if they're all going to be plus or minus size wise. Barely moving it. Okay. I mean, I was dead still for a couple seconds there. I don't recommend doing what I'm doing here. But I want to see if these are all little perch, which I'm kind of suspecting this is. Maybe small bluegills, you know, just really small stuff is what I'm suspecting here. Yeah, let's put these guys back and just keep hunting instead. Releasing all that air. So the white perch can handle, you know, that they have a little better time decompressing as long as you reel them up nice and slow. Some fish really just, yeah, they don't like decompressing one bit. Yeah, these blade baits don't sometimes always catch the biggest fish. It's my only complaint about them. It seems like they catch quantity really well. Sometimes quality, sometimes it does seem like there's better choices. But there are times where they really want a profile like this more than anything. Yeah, that's not really what I'd like to see. Gonna go on and guess that all of these are gonna be small. You never know. That's my current guess. Really want to see like 2 or 3 nice clumpy looking marks. Yeah, these are no good. All right, gotta move, gotta move. These schools of perch do tend to really take over in some regard. And these mega schools are just showing up time after time, it seems like. Same thing. Another mega school of perch down here. Okay, I'm not getting many bites right now, honestly. There's more current here, though. I think this is current. I'll call it current. It's definitely like a push of water right here. Those blade baits definitely bring them up, but I don't know. I feel like I should stick with what's probably going to catch a better fish. Getting a little better. It's definitely one of the bigger ones so far. Just about 12 inches still. I know we could find some 13s and 14s if we work it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to work it. Pretty much fish everywhere I'm stopping, though. Every few feet, and I'm like bumping into another patch of fish. There we go. Can't find any bigger ones today. Cruised around a bunch. Story is lots of small white perch congregated. Not finding any of these larger, 1 pound plus perch right now. Nice fish. This is a 4 pound test, baby. It's the first one that really took a little extra line out of me. This is a blast. Yeah. It's finally a decent one. Okay, that's a nice white perch there. That one's coming home. I understand some places in the country have some 15 and 16 inch white perch, but yeah, around 12 and a half, 13, somewhere around there is usually a pretty decent fillet. So they don't look like much. They ain't that glorious, but on a cold day where there's just not much else to do, catching stripers and white perch is a great time, man. Okay, let's bleed this guy out. My biggest white perch is about 14 and a half. fish. I think I got another striper. This one might be a catfish, actually. It's catfish, I think. Feeling that twisting and turning. Channel cat. This guy inhaled that blade bait, huh? Oh, there that went. Let's see if we can fish it out of him. Was it even hooked, it seemed like? Healthy channel cat. Yeah, I know. Other YouTubers hate you. But you know what? Most YouTubers sitting at home right now would take that channel cat. Maybe not. I don't think he was even hooked. I think a lot of these white perch just put their bellies down into the bottom. And then as a bait drops down into their strike zone, maybe they'll come up out of the bottom. What changed? Why did the bite just totally turn off? I mean, I'm finding like new patches of fish and those aren't biting either. With that start of that striped bass, well, today was going to be absolutely on fire, and it seemed like it might have been early, but you would think the warmer period of the day would have been key, but I guess not. That southwest wind is just really making the drifts not great, I guess, and you know, fish didn't really want to bite in that. Don't think I have good conditions to really try a couple other things even. All right, this is about where I hooked the striper. Let's see what pops up on the sonar. This is all shallower, 29 feet. Doesn't seem like any white perch here or anything like that either. I think those white perch are really congregated in those deep holes, but it doesn't seem like they're too active. So really counting my blessings. I got that striper bite earlier even. Haven't marked the thing here. Oh, it's a good fish. Not as big as what I missed before, but this is a good fish. What missed before could have been a catfish. This feels like a perch. Yeah. Sweet. Sweet perch. Okay. These blade baits can be pretty good. Don't underestimate them, especially in that colder water. Fat perch right there. All right, I think we're going to invite this one to dinner too. Bleed them out. White perch are not invasive to the Carolina coast and most coastal areas. A lot of areas they'll basically they can take over if they get introduced. So some parts of North Carolina have been introduced probably for as intention of bait, but on the coast they are native. Some areas will have some pretty big ones. Most of the ones I'll catch are 13 inches, maybe 14 would be a real nice one. But yeah, it's a big school bait. Guess it's those little grass shad, thread fins. Well, that was part 2 of what's it gonna take to get on a good bite. Well, I wouldn't say good. What's it gonna take to catch much? So today, unlike where I fished the other day that was totally flooded out, I'm seeing a lot of life, but most of these spots, boy, you're just giving one bite per area, and you know, if they roll up on some good quality fish, one bite, pop, they're done. That's what it really felt like today. You might hear the term negative mood. Let's cook up those perch. I do like a good panfish. White perch, yellow perch, crappie, all some of my favorites. So yeah, it was pretty fun though. Those bigger ones were pretty fickle. So try this again. We'll try this again one more time. Definitely a little joy of mine. Perch stuff with a sprinkling of a striped bass. In a truly perfect world, this would be an ideal candidate to fry whole, but generally the bloodline, the skin, and all that stuff, there's a bit more in the contaminant department. I'd really rather cut out the bloodline. You know, if you have a pristine river that has zero runoff, I mean absolute zero, by all means. Can't think of a better way to enjoy this fish than cooking them whole. But like I said, I do want to remove some of the contaminated aspects of it. Certain bodies of water, these fish are glowing, as in they get a lot of those contaminants, but there are some pretty good bodies of water to keep them from too. Okay, here's what we came for. What's in this fish's stomach? It's not much, actually. But there it is. Shad. So before cooking, as usual, we'll remove that bloodline right there. But for now, place them in. I'd say these fish taste somewhere between a grouper and a snapper, somewhere around there. Always found them to be a little bit milder than striped bass, especially for frying purposes. Okay, it's gonna be a great lunch and dinner. Okay, fish overnight. If you're an amateur like me, all I like to do is give it a wrap in a paper towel, a little bit of salt. It'll draw out some of that moisture, and it'll firm it up a little bit. I typically do try to cook my fish the next day, so this fish would be was caught on Thursday. Today is Saturday. Some fish are just fine 3 days later. For oilier fish like mackerel and bluefish, definitely are not fine. But we've got our nice pieces of white perch. You know, the beauty of the panfish always is you don't need much for it, right? When it's fresh, you don't need much for it. Just a basic coating. I don't gotta go crazy on the spices. And that's why we always gravitate towards panfish, right? Many of us do. Just easy, quick coating, and it comes out delicious. I always find the more you add to these fish sometimes, yeah, more work than it's worth. Okay, so over here it's just a mixture of panko breadcrumbs. Didn't find these to be quite as good as some of the other brands, but some Parmesan cheese. Almost forgot, I want to add, it's not too late, I want to add just a little flavor to it. I'm gonna give this lemon pepper a try. It smelled pretty good. I had a couple samples of it, so I was like, all right, let's give that a try too. This cast iron should just be warm and not hot. So this way, we'll be cooking our fish immediately. Temperature of this should be nice and warm. Just one last thing I want to do here. Nice little brushing of oil. See if that helps get a little more browning. Let's get that in the oven here. Let's give that about 15 minutes. This looks about right. Sure hope I cooked that. No, it's cooked all the way through. I'll typically err towards the side of frying these fish, panfish, but perch family, give it a try baked. It's one of the few that sometimes comes out better baked than fried. It's a meatier texture. Yellow perch is better fried though. Anyway, it was an interesting day. So if you like these longer videos, the last few have seemed to perform pretty well. I do like the take of it being a little bit more realistic versus going down the shorts route. So we'll keep doing them. People keep watching the long ones. It's deceptively hot. Didn't think it was going to be that hot. That's excellent. All right, panfish on a cold winter day. fish are underrated. Tastes great. Nice pursuit in the winter. One of the first fish I've ever went fishing for. So I'm curious, what fish were you broken in on, and do you still have a soft spot for it? White perch to me, soft spot on white perch, yellow perch, most of those panfish have a really soft spot for them. So I think to wrap up this struggle bus series, we'll try to get on some fish that are a little bit more salty tomorrow, actually Monday. So you can probably figure out what stretch of weather I'm fishing based on the ups and downs. Things should be coming out of the flood stage early next week, and if we get more rain, they'll go back into the flood stage. But I'm expecting a very difficult winter of fishing, so that's part of the adventure, right? Making the most out of it. You know, that striped bass that came along made what would have been a pretty ordinary day pretty exceptional, especially with all those conditions thrown at me. So that's why you sometimes just go when the weather lets you go, or you have the time to go. Could be that simple. So chill out for the weekend, regroup, re-strength. I'm a little bit under the weather, and Monday we'll try to get back out there. It looks like it's going to be a really pretty day. I hope I'm going to find some better looking water. Water looks like junk. There we go. Striper. First fish this morning counts for a lot. mushy hit. Mushy striper. It's 2 striped bass. Fish is following me the whole way. Still chilly. It's thawed out, but it's cold. Yeah, this is some of the coldest water I've seen fishing around these parts. 41, 40. Water stained too, so we'll try. Gonna fish some deep elbows. Fish the elbows, the creeks. Hope for the best. Saw some life out on the surface here, so make a cast or two. I feel like it's got to be a few fish here. I don't think I'm gonna find any mutton snapper here, or am I? I think I might head back the other direction though. Those fish did seem a little more active. I feel like that last bend should have had a few. Okay. Gotta start somewhere. The Esky shrimp. Simple lure. Giants. Found some giants, guys. Definitely did. Oh my god. So I'm not really marking these stripers till I'm jigging them up, so they're kind of planted into the bottom. They don't marking a whole lot. All right, according to this, I got a bunch of fish on my right. So let's find out. Man, this is brutal. Maybe that's stripers right there, but it could be gar. Okay, I think there's some fish here. Rockfish, rockfish. These look like they're... Wow, that water's cold. Some cold water, man. Well, esky shrimp. It's getting a lot of bites, man. It's brutal. Brutal fishing though, but a little esky shrimp. All about the bait shrimp. Try the bladed jig one more time. Cold snap, plummeted to those temperatures, getting that warm up with more rain in the extended forecast. So I don't know. Water never really cleared 41 today, and until we get to 44, I'm gonna relax. So that was work for every bite today. I think I haven't had a bite in about 2 hours now, and you know, I don't think any striper really went over. Nothing probably cleared 23 inches is my guess. So smaller fish, fickle. Yeah, let's warm up, literally and figuratively and everything. So that was cool to get a nicer striper. White perch bite was off the other day, and you know, now I'm trying to see if anything warmed right back up, and no, those cold nights plunged it. But we'll see. By the time this uploads, you know, it can bounce right back again, because plenty of changes might creep up by the time this uploads. So that probably will be hold true is my guess. So all right, let me work my way back to the car. Appreciate everyone for watching. I worked hard. I tried hard today. Cold. It's not over yet, so let's see. But if it is over, you can just check the video's description links, everything used, and catch up with the next video. So appreciate everyone for watching. I'm cold. I'm feeling it. I'm a little under the weather. I'm stuffy. Let me get home and warm up and regroup. Gotta make sure you enjoy it, right? So I'm just getting stuffy now, so I think I need to call it. Not really, not grind it all out. There we go. Not too many of y'all. Not too many of these guys want to bite today. Getting the lap dance. Like it's a pretty big school right there. Thank you, stripers. It's not been an easy day. One on the Elias shad. Elias V. Bigger profile, will we get a bigger fish? Yeah, we will. Heck yeah, dude. That one. Nice fish, man. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Decent fish right there, man. It's probably about 30 inches or so. Take a quick measurement of her. Just under 30 inches. Not bad. Alright, this profile is it's a 1 ounce Berkeley jig head and a 4.5 inch Elias shad. It's got that good juju on it, I guess. And this time of year, man, stripers, surprised they're getting this aggressive right now, but little guy. Put the bigger profile on to avoid that guy. But hey. Small fish here. pretty decent bite, man. Turned into almost every cast. Alright, sweet little bottom of the ninth run of fish there. This fish decided to just turn on for the afternoon. Bit pretty well for a minute, so I left him biting. It's all striped bass over there, can't keep them. And you know, 29.5 was the biggest for the day, so not bad. And I'm cold, so gonna head back in.